In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through the number one silent killer of fitness businesses, right? And the number one thing that could potentially be keeping you stuck, right? If you're in your business and you're been working hard, you're grinding hard, you're doing whatever you can, trying to level up and go to another level, to a level that you've potentially never been to before, or a level you used to be at, but everything kind of collapsed down and you feel like you've hit a ceiling, you can't get back, then this more than likely would be the culprit. And identifying what it is first step. And second, once you've identified it, you need to know how to attack it, to fix it, right? Now, you can't fix something if you don't know that that's the problem. So identification of the problem and then a plan to fix the problem is absolute key. So now, I guess as I mentioned before, if you are in your business and you've got, like most entrepreneurs will have that feeling in their gut, right? We got into business to try and build something where generally slightly, ambitious people, I would say, and don't like to settle and just stay stagnant. And generally, I wouldn't say creative in the terms of like creating imagery, paintings, whatever it is, but like to create things, like to grow things, like to see things grow. And like that could be as simple as just putting your systems into a business and seeing those systems work better and seeing everything more systemized and leveraged and whatever it might be. So probably one of the worst positions of a business owner or an entrepreneur is that feeling in your gut where you're in your business and you just feel stuck and you don't know why, right? You feel like you have more potential and you should be at another level and you want to level up, right? But you feel like you're kind of just treading water and you're just hitting your head against this ceiling consistently and you just can't break it. It's not a fun place to be. I've been there before, right? And it's not until you realize there's generally singular things that once you break, it's generally called what's called a breakdown to breakthrough, right? So there's generally singular things that if you can alleviate this singular thing, it'll allow you to go boom. And then generally there'll be another thing and that'll allow you to go boom, 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 right? And it's being able to identify at each stage. But I would say this one thing, this silent killer of businesses and what holds most people back from realizing their true potential is probably the most important. Right, you need to solve this first, and then you will have a jump, you have a growth, and everything will feel great, right? And then you might hit another point, and then you might have another blockage. And it's generally how business is. Things don't go continually on that trajectory. It's like you go to there, you go to there, you go to there, right? So this first one's probably the most important. Now, the ultimate silent killer of most people's business is distraction, or the lack of ability to be able to focus, right? Now, especially in today's time, there is more social media than ever. There's more connection, right? Connection to information. And information is cheap. It is everywhere, right? If you are a university graduate with a PhD, you can create information, right? You can create ebooks, you can create videos, or whatever. But you can also, on the flip side, a person that has no education and no knowledge whatsoever can also create information about the same topic. And so we're flooded with all of this information. You don't know which one to believe, which one to do, which one's right, which one's wrong, which one's a trap, which one's the secret, right? And as a result, our attention is just grabbed and pulled from everywhere. Now, I know there'll be times in my life where my ability to focus is less than ideal. Right? And a very famous quote, two very successful people, whether they're good people, bad people, whatever it is, that's not what I'm here to talk about. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, there was a famous interview done, let's call it like 10 years ago. They're both extremely successful from a financial perspective, people, and they were being interviewed at the same time. And the interviewer asked them, can you please write down on a piece of paper and put it face down one word, the singular thing that you think that has allowed you to get to the level of success that you are. you have right now. Now, Warren Buffett is an investor, and Bill Gates is somewhat an investor now, but was more of a tech, computers, so on and so forth. So they're completely different industries. You'd think the skill or the number one thing that they both would say would be completely different. But they wrote it down, they put it face down, and when the interviewer said, "Can you read it to us, Warren Buffett, what you wrote?" Warren Buffett pulled up his piece of paper, he had one word, and it said focus. And he explained why he felt that was the most powerful weapon there is, because ultimately the ability to focus is kind of like a laser beam. Like light is not powerful, right? But if you concentrate light down to a very focal point, right, that's a laser beam, right? And it's extremely powerful. But when it's wide, light cannot burn, it cannot break, it cannot explode things, whatever it is, but you concentrate into a singular point, it becomes extremely powerful, right? And that's what he explained. And the interviewer said, "Okay, Bill, what have you got?" And Bill laughed, pulled up his piece of paper, and he had written the word focus, right? So two different people from two different industries, different ages, massive success from a financial perspective, both wrote the exact same word, the singular piece that allowed them to get to the level of success that they are. Right? Now, most people are distracted, right? You're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing that. You're trying to multitask. You don't know, you're trying a little bit of this, trying a little bit of that. You check social media 10 times a day. You check who liked, who followed, who shared. You're trying to create some content. You're trying to do a funnel. You're trying to do marketing. You're speaking to clients. It's distraction everywhere. Within your business, something blows up, or a client has an issue, you have to jump onto that, or a staff member, or whatever, you have to jump onto them. You have to hire, you have to fire if you've got like facilities or employees or whatever it might be. It is all distractions that pull you from being able to have a singular focus. Right now, as I said, I know being conscious of this stuff and continually wanting to work on it, there is times where I'll be like, hang on a sec, I checked social media like 5 or 6 times today, and I checked the news, and I did this, and I went and got a glass of water, I went and did that, and so on and so forth, and then I spoke to a friend, and then my phone rang, and whatever it might be. And at the end of the day, you're like, I've worked really hard, I've worked for a long period, like it's been a long day, but what have I really gotten done? Have I really moved forward? And you feel kind of empty. Like you're putting in big days, but you don't feel like you're moving forward. And it's because of lack of ability to focus on a singular important thing and get it done, and be able to get to the end of the day and be like, you know what? I really nailed something today that's going to help the business and pay me and get clients and help clients get great results and services and change lives, not just for today, but for next week, for next month, for the next year, right? Like I've built something great. And tomorrow, if I come in and build a secondary thing and a third thing, this is going to be amazing. And it's going to be like, what I did today is going to help me for life, right? Rather than what I did today is, I can't even really remember, but damn, I felt like I was busy and I'm tired, right? And tomorrow I got to get back in and it'll be all the same, right? So the ability to focus. Now, first and foremost, as I talked about before, is the ability to recognize. Now, as I said, I've read lots and lots of books on this sort of stuff in terms of how to reduce distractions, increase focus, productivity, so on and so forth. But there will always be times where we become unconscious of it, and our brain and the world that's trying to suck us in and take our attention everywhere will pull us back into it. And so we need to become aware that, hey, I am not that focused at current. Okay, once you realize that that's the case, how to take action, plan of attack, right? Being able to consciously go, all right, for example, I've made a goal up on my whiteboard there, and I've just put it up in writing. Do not check social media more than once a day. Do not check my emails more than once a day. Do not, like I'm pulling away purposely from distractions. Now, if I need to do things and they're important, if I check it once a day and get it done, great. But I know that I was unproductively checking things multiple times a day, right? And going, cool, I checked it. It's the same as what it was an hour ago. Fantastic, that was a waste of time, right? So in addition to that, the planning, right? Planning around how to handle distractions. Now, there's an amazing book. I'm trying to see if I got it up here. on my board. No, I've probably got it at home. It's called Indistractable. The author, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's a really good book. So easy read. If you're interested in how to create generally what's called war games or planning to try and kill off distractions before they come, it's a great book. I'd highly recommend it. It's quite easy read, and it just gives you little techniques, like for example, turn off all notifications on your phone, right? Set focus times on your phone so people can't ring unless it's an emergency. If they ring 3 times, it'll come through, right? Emergencies, great, they're important, but non-emergencies won't come through. How to turn notifications off your computer so when you get an email or you get a notification, it doesn't ping, it doesn't make a noise and take your attention away. How to lock down your phones, your computers, your workplace, how to speak to employees or work colleagues so you can tell them, hey, between these times and these times, I'm uncontactable because I'm delving focused into this. But between these times and these times, I can chunk down and I'm contactable and we can take care of whatever's important and whatever it might be, right? Little things like that. Also having more conscious self-discipline around time you're wasting. Like doing things you lie to yourself and kind of say, oh, it was important, I need to check this or I need to do this, when really they're not. You let that slip into your life, right? And like I said, I'm generally pretty ruthless about distractions, but I've consciously come back like late last year, and I was like, I'm not as strict around that. I've let things creep back in, so I need to tighten this up again, right? So have the capacity to recognize, have the tools and be equipped to tighten it back up again if it does come back up. But like I said, it is an ongoing battle because media, information, they all want your attention, right? Right now, attention is like the most valuable thing in the world, right? They all want your attention, and effectively you want your attention where you want it. You don't want to let them lead your life, right? So take back control of your attention. Don't let other things take your attention or have lead over your attention, right? And take you where they want you to go, right? So check it out, the book that I recommended. If you've got any questions around any of this stuff in terms of productivity, how to focus better, if you're feeling as though you are stuck in your business, you will find that as soon as you nail this, you'll be at least 2 or 3 times more productive in your day. And like, think about if you could get 2 or 3 times more things done every single day. Give that a month, 6 months, 12 months. Imagine how much further forward you'll be in your life. And even like happiness, because rather than working 8 hours and getting one thing done, right? If you're more productive, you can work, if you're twice as productive, you can work 4 hours and get the same thing done. And then just spend the rest of your half a day just like living and doing whatever else you want to do that makes you happy, right? So you can either double productivity by working the same hours, or you can keep the same productivity and also have an amazing life on the side just doing other stuff, because it doesn't take you 8 hours to do one thing, right? For example, it might only take you 4 hours to do that one thing, right? So productivity is very, very important from a business growth perspective, but also from just a life enjoyment perspective. Like, no one wants to sit there just staring at a screen or a phone or whatever it might be all day, and at the end of the day going, I feel like I didn't get much done, right? There's much more better things that we can be doing in our lives. So hopefully that helps. Acknowledging and being able to recognize in your life, and then coming up with plans to attack it, and then continual re-acknowledgement, right? If things pop up or start creaming in your life, how to tighten them up again. That's what it is. It's a lifelong battle, but let me tell you, it is going to change your life in numerous ways, and is the most important thing by far. Hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions on any of these whatsoever, you can reach out to me, chris@tribefit.co. You can hit up our website or hit me up over any of the socials. I hope this video helps. Take action on this today. Don't just be like, oh, cool, Chris, that's awesome. I'm going to think about that this week. Take action on it today, because tomorrow you'll forget about it. Distractions will come in, take over your life, and you'll not move further forward from that. So take the next 5-10 minutes, right? pull out a pen and a pad, write down things that you feel are absorbing too much of your time for low and not giving you much value in your life, whether that's in your work or in your personal life, right? And dot point out 5-10 things and come up with a plan on how you can reduce those taking your attention. And away you go. Cheers.